everyone, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we are here with part 3 of our Pretty in Green crochet bunny and Easter bunny, Easter bunny. And today we're going to be working on the feet, the bow, and my camera is lower, so but we're going to be working on the bow and the feet. And we're also going to be working on the ears. Okay, and these ears do require some sort of something to keep them up. I'm just using some flower, metal like wire that you use to do flowers and stuff with. But you could also use pipe cleaners in there if you wanted to. So yeah, you could do that as well. But that's what we're going to be working on today. And let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to do the ear. And I'm going to put the bunny right there. And as you know, in my descriptions list, as I told you in the descriptions list, we are going to be using the 4.25 millimeter hook for all of our, everything that we're doing. So I just wanted to give that as a reminder. You are going to need a stitch marker, and I'm using just a dark color so it'll stand out. And yeah, okay. So to get started on the ear, we're going to do 6 single crochets into a magic circle. And I showed you how to do a magic circle in a lot of videos, but I'm just going to show again. So I place the yarn down, I put it in between my pinky and my ring finger, and then I bring the working piece of yarn over this piece. And I take my hook and I go under this piece and I pick up this piece. And then I go like this, and when I do that, it kind of turns it, and then I go pull through right there, and then that leaves this. Now if you did it correctly, then this piece right here will move your circle, and this will not. This is your working yarn and should not move it. Okay, so now we're going to do 6 single crochet into this. And guys, I've been crocheting for a long time and I still have trouble getting these single crochets into a magic circle. You just kind of have to hold it as you go. So just like that. So we did our 6 single crochet. Then we pull tight. We will be working in the round. So that means we will not be slip stitching. So we're going to go right into our first available stitch here, and we're going to put 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. We're going to do that all the way around for a count of 12. So 2 single crochets in each stitch. So we already did 2. So there's 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, and 11 and 12. Okay. Now that we have that 12 down, we can go ahead and put our stitch marker in. Okay. I'm just looking at my pattern here. I want to make sure I get everything right. So now we're going to do the 1 and 2. Okay. And if you've noticed, as we've gone along, we've done the head, we've done the arms, we've done the body and the feet. And as you can tell, it's very similar with all these different pieces that we're working on for our amigurumi, because this is amigurumi we're doing. All of them start very similar. You're increasing and decreasing all throughout. So yeah, so we're going to do our 1 and 2, which means we're going to go into our next stitch. We're going to put 1 single crochet. Then we're going to go into the next and do 2 single crochets. And then we're going to go into the next and do 1 single crochet. And in the next 2, and you're going to do that all the way around for a stitch count of 18. Okay, so do that all the way around, and then when you get to the end, you pull out your stitch marker, and you should be putting 2 single crochets right there. And then we're going to put the stitch marker right back. Okay, and now we're going to go on and we're going to do 2 and 2. So we're going to go into our next available stitch, and we're going to put a single crochet, then go into the next, put a single crochet, and in the next we'll put 2 single crochets. And you're going to do that all the way around. Again, 1 single crochet into the next, 1 single crochet into the next, and then 2 single crochets. And just all the way around for a stitch count of 24. So we're just getting our increases in for our bunny. We're down here towards the end now, so we're going to put 1 single crochet, and these last 2, pull out our stitch marker and put 2 single crochets. Okay, then we'll put our stitch marker right back. And now we're going to jump ahead. So hopefully you haven't gone ahead thinking we're just going to keep going up on increases, because for the ear, we need to make it look a certain way. So we have to change up our increases. So now we need to do 5 and 2. So that means we're going to go into our next 5 stitches, and we're going to put a single crochet in each. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then in the 6th, you're going to put 2 single crochets. And you're going to do that all the way around. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in the 6th, 2 single crochets. And that's our increase. And we're working on our last 5 here. And then our 2 is going to be right here where our stitch marker is. So you know you've done it correctly if you're landing on 2 single crochets. If you're not, then you did not count correctly. Okay, so let's put our stitch marker right back. And now that should have left you with a stitch count of 28. And now we're going to do 6 and 2. So in our next 6 stitches, we're going to put 1 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In the 7th, you're going to put 2 single crochets. And you're going to do that all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And in the 7th, 2 single crochets. And this is our last increase. Now we're going to start doing some single crochets and some decreases. And sorry about all the noise in the background. Remember to remove your stitch marker and put 2 in this last one. I have all my kids home for spring break. And they're all gaming. And the dog's barking. And for some reason it's hot in this house. So yay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rounds of single crochet. That should have left you with a stitch count of 32. So you're going to do a 2 rounds of just 32. So let's go ahead and do that. It shouldn't take us too long. I hope everyone's having a great day today. I forgot to announce in the beginning that I am going to upload this video onto YouTube later. So if you hear me talking to anyone, that is why. It's because I'm on Facebook Live. So hi Denise, hi Melinda. Okay, so there's our first round of single crochet done. Put your stitch marker back. And then I crossed out that I did my single crochet. I just kind of keep up as I'm going. If you're doing a bunch of single crochet, we're just doing 2 rounds, so you should probably be okay, but oftentimes it's easy to lose count, so I always try to write it down and cross it off as I go. Okay, so one more round here. Okay, so we're at our last one here. Oh, sorry, I'm moving my camera. I'm trying to get a little closer here. Okay, so now we're going to start decreasing. And we're going to, uh-oh. My camera fell. Sorry, guys. Give me just a second. Everything fell. Okay. So I think we're good. I'm so sorry. Everything just went kaput. Everything just fell. Hopefully it's pretty straight. But as I was saying, we're going to start doing decreases now. So now what we're going to do, seems a little lopsided, guys, sorry. It's like I had it perfectly straight and then it just collapsed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 single crochets, 1 in the next 6 stitches. So 1 single crochet in the next 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then 2 together. And the way you're going to do your 2 together is you're going to go right through this the front loop only. So if you're looking at your crochet, you see you have a little V there. You're only going through this front loop only, okay? Okay, so you're going to go through the front loop of this next stitch, the front loop of the next, and then you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Go through all 3. Then you're going to single crochet 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then again 2 together by only going through your front loops. Okay, so again I'm going to show you real quick, and we've been doing this in other videos, but in case you haven't seen it, just going to go right through this front loop, yarn over, pull up, don't go through that, go through the next front loop, yarn over, pull up, and now you have 3 loops on your hook. Go through all 3, and that's how you do 2 together. Only in the front loop because it's an invisible decrease, okay? So then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 2 together. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And 2 together. Okay. And at this point, you should have a stitch count of 28. I'm going to go ahead and count because I think I may have missed a stitch there. This happens, and if I did, I'm going to show you how to fix it in case that happens to you. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, that was too far for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back where it should be, and I'm going to go back, and I know this is what you would do if you wanted to go back. You know where your stitch marker is, so you know where you need to go back to, so you don't have to undo it. Okay, so I know we should have 32. So first I'm going to make sure that we have 32. So I'm just going to count real quick. I'm going to make sure I leave this up so I don't lose my space. And I'm going to start from right here. And 32. Okay. I'm going to count it just one more time because I want to make sure that we get this right. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off a little bit because it's a working nerve. Okay, so we have our 32, so that lets me know that I just messed up on that one stitch count. But if that's why it's so important that you leave the stitch marker here, that way you can always go back without having to undo everything. Okay, so now at some point along the way before, when I was doing the 6 and the 2 T crease, I must have messed up. So now we're just going to do that again. Hi Rita, I'm so glad you made it. So we're going to do 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the 2 together, which is what I was showing you how to do a minute ago before I messed up. But you know, that's life. When we're doing crochet, we mess up sometimes. It's just the way it is. No big deal. Easy to fix. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again, we're just doing this all the way around, 6 and 2 together. Excuse me. Okay, so we did our last 2 together there at the end, and we're going to put our stitch marker right back. And now we need to do 2 rounds of 1 single crochet. Okay? And you should have a stitch count of 28. Hi Sammy, how are you doing? I'll put our stitch marker right back, and then we're going to do another row of single crochet. We're working on the ears, Sammy. My whole camera fell. Oh goodness, you can watch it on the replay. Rita, I'm just using, this is, came from Hobby Lobby. It's just a white from Hobby Lobby. Just like a Super Saver, like a red heart. Nothing grand. And I tell you what, guys, when you're making stuffed animals, all those lovely, soft yarns that we love to use for blankets and scarves and beanies and stuff like that, when you're doing amigurumi, it's really actually helpful to have a tougher yarn. I don't really know another word to say but that. But you know, like the Red Heart Super Saver, it seems to be a little bit coarse before you wash it. And there are just the cheaper yarns actually work better with amigurumi because they have a stiffness to them that you kind of need when you're molding and shaping all these wonderful little animals. So I would recommend using something like that for amigurumi especially, and for this rabbit. The cheaper the better. Now when you go to make the dress and the bow and all those things, that's when you can use a softer, more expensive yarn. Yeah, so that's what works for that. Okay, so we've done our 2 rounds of 1 single crochet, and we need 1 more round of single crochet. And also, I'm using, like I told you in the beginning of this video, I'm using some like metal wire that you use for flowers, you know, when you're putting together a flower arrangement. And I am going to show you how to do that. I'm using that because I don't have any pipe cleaners, and I really prefer to use the things that I have on hand instead of going to buy other things. I have 2 children in college, and 3 children in total, and a home and cars, and so yeah, things are expensive. And so I always, and not only that, it's just good to use the things that you have in your home if you can, instead of buying new. So I want to use up this flower wire that I have, so it worked perfectly for me. However, if you're having to go buy something anyways, I actually think the pipe cleaners might, I hope I'm saying that correctly, I think that they might actually work better. And while I don't have them, I can show you how to do it. And yes, I think jewelry wire will work, Sammy, depending upon how thick it is. Maybe you could shoot me a picture, and I can, unless you're doing it right now, then you'll find out on your own. But yeah, this flower wire I'm using, it's pretty thin too, so, and it works. The whole point is it needs to hold up the ear, okay? Okay, so we finished our 3 rounds of single crochet, and now we're going to do a 5 and 2 decrease. So we're going to put a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to go right again into the front loops only, pull up, don't go through anything, go into your next stitch, front loop only, pull up, then you've got 3 loops, go through all 3. And then again into your next 5 stitches, 1 single crochet. And again, 2 together, working in the front loops only. So again, working in our front loops only. I see I've missed a stitch. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you, and I'm glad I did it. So I missed a stitch somewhere along the way. My stitch marker was right here, and I only have 2 left, okay? That lets me know that somewhere along the way I missed a stitch. This could happen to you. You could just keep going and it'd work out just fine or whatever, but really it's not going to make that big of a difference. But if I want to get the count right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decrease in the next 3, okay? Because I know that's where I needed to be anyways. Does that make sense? So like my stitch marker was here, there's only 2 left, but I know all of these need to count as 1, okay? So I'm going to go into all 3 of the front loops only, getting right back to where my stitch marker was, just like that, and then I'm going to go through all 4. So I'm basically doing 4 together, okay? And that's going to give me the count that I need now, since I missed a stitch somewhere along the way. Then I can put my stitch marker right back where I had it, and now I know that I'm right where I need to be, okay? So that's just in case you miss a stitch somewhere. And I'm glad I did, because I wanted to show you how to do that, because it happens all the time, okay? So don't feel bad if it happens to you. Don't undo everything. Just make it where the count is the way it's supposed to be. If that means you need to add 1, if it means you need to take away 1 with a decrease, just do whatever you got to do. Just don't undo it all. Okay, so now we should have a stitch count of 24. And now we're going to do 3 rounds of 1 single crochet again. Okay, so this is just giving us our length for our ear. So I'm just going to do single crochets all the way around. One, 22, 23, and yes, 24. So now we have the count right. Okay? Yeah, don't frog. Sammy's saying she's been frogging. If you're new to crochet, that means basically you're just taking it all back to the beginning. You're just undoing everything. That's what frog means. So yeah, don't do that. Because boy, that's a pain once you started going in all these increases and decreases. Oh, good to know. Rita is saying that flower wire, they are the same as jewelry, from 16 grams to 32 grams. So I guess what Rita is basically saying is flower wire and jewelry wire are a lot alike. I did not know that. Okay, so we did 1 round of single crochet. We need 2 more. And what are some other, Sammy, can you think of any, while we're doing our single crochets, what are some more sayings? She's saying rip it, rip it, rip it, like rivet, for frog. And then there's, I think there's hoth, which is hot off the hook, and frog. I can't think of any other ones right now. So if you said hoth, you would say basically hot off the hook, you just finished this. Frog, you're just, you know, giving up and going back to the beginning. I can't think of any other ones. sure there are more. Oh, whip it up. That's another one. Okay, so we have one more row of single crochets. Whip, yes, whip means work in progress. I should do like a Whip Wednesday or something. Okay. So this is our third round here of single crochets. And if I could edit on Facebook Live, I would fast forward through all this for you guys, but hey, we get to chat. And actually, I tried to not even edit this stuff out when I do my YouTube videos because I'm not a good editor. Basically, that's why. I could lie and say, oh, I just wanted you to be part of the experience or whatever, but really, I'm just not good. Yeah, I have a lot of work in progress too, all the time. Sammy's saying she's got 4 going right now. Yeah, Rita, when I'm doing my two togethers for those decreases, she's asking about doing it in the front loop. I'm fixing to do another row of those right now, and I'm going to show you again what I was talking about. Okay, so we did our 3 rounds of single crochets, and now we're going to do 4 and 2 decrease. So I'm going to do a single crochet in our next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then when I do my 2 togethers for amigurumi, really for anything, I try to hide them. And the way I hide them is by going through my front loop only. So if we're looking at the top of our stitches, we can see the V's. It's getting a little bit dark in here, but there's a V, there's a V. So I'm just going in the front loops only, okay, to do my 2. Yeah, it's an invisible decrease, okay. So I'm just going to go right into that front loop, pull up, don't go through anything. Go through my next front loop, pull up, don't go through anything. And then I go through all 3. So this is a decrease, and it is putting 2 together, but only using your front loops so that it can be invisible. If I went through both of these, you'd be able to see the decrease in your work. Okay, so it's a really cool thing to use. Okay, so again, 4. So in the next 4 stitches, 1 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then our decrease, 2 together. And then again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 together. And again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're on our last 2, so let's pull out the stitch marker. Sorry, my computer was trying to do an update. So, do our 2 together by going through our front loops only. And then let's put our stitch marker back. And as you can see, we're slowly making the ear. This indentation is the top of the ear, okay? So now we need to do 3 rows of single crochets again. And hopefully this little white yarn that I'm trying to use up will not run out. Let's hope. Let's hope. And I just threw it way behind my desk. Okay. So yes, let's go ahead and get started on these single crochets. So 3 rounds of single crochets, and Sammy's saying that's so it shows as a gap later, right? So it won't show a gap later. So I've just told you have 3 rounds of single crochet, so you know this, but I'm just going to quickly show you what it would look like if I didn't do the invisible decrease. So if you did not want to go through your front loops only, if you found that aggravating and you just wanted to go through both, you would go through both, you know, just like you were doing normal. Then you would pull up, and then you would go into the next, go through both, pull up, and then you would go through all 3. And I don't know if you, it's hard to kind of tell the difference, but it kind of leaves like a little knot. So let's do it again so that you can see. So I'm going through both here. And you see, it just leaves, it's not really that it leaves a space as it leaves a knot. So that if I'm looking at the side of this, you see how it bulges out there? That's where it makes the difference. It just bulges out more because you're only going through both of those instead of just the front loop. Okay. But then if we go through the front loop only, let me show you the difference. I hope you'll be able to see it. You see how much smoother that looks? Like it doesn't bulge out. I can definitely tell a difference. I hope you can. I'm going to do it one more time. Of course, doing them side by side would make them show up more anyway. But still, you can tell that it just doesn't bulge out as much. They're really hard to see. Okay. So back to our single crochets. I hope I didn't confuse anyone, but I did want to show y'all the difference there and that, because it is pretty substantial, especially when you're doing the amigurumi, because you don't want anything to be poking out. You want things to be smooth. And you want your stitches to be tight with amigurumi so that your stuffing doesn't show through. And Sammy gets to use her new yarn because she's going to learn how to make shoes and a bow. And in my next video, I'm going to show you how to make the dress. And we're going to put that face on that bunny, and we're going to put it all together. I'm going to show you how to do it all step by step. Every bit of it. May take a hot minute. But I think all the videos for this bunny have taken a while. It's just a long process. If you just sit down and do it and you have all the patterns, it's really not that bad. Now I'm working on my 2nd row of single crochets. It really doesn't take that long if you just sit down and do it and you have the pattern ready or a video ready. But if you're waiting for videos or you're trying to make videos or make a pattern, it can take quite a long time. So I know that Sammy is from well, I hope it's okay I say this. Is it okay that I say where you're from, Sammy? Basically what I was getting at is I was wondering where Rita was from. If she was from the U.S., somewhere in the U.S., or she was from another country. I have a lot of people from different countries who watch on here. I even had one lady message me. I don't even know what language it was, but it wouldn't translate. And I messaged back and I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't understand. So that was that kind of sucked. Oh yeah, so I was going to say Sammy's from South Carolina. So Rita, if you're still watching, where are you from? Tell me where you're from, guys. Okay, so that was our 2nd row. Oh, goodness. It just came undone. So I'm gonna, that came undone there. Last row of single crochets. So let's see here. Oh, Massachusetts. Oh, it's pretty up there. I'm in Tennessee, the Tennessee mountains. It's beautiful here, but we've had enough rain. Oh my goodness, we have just had a ton of rain. But Massachusetts is beautiful. Oh, from Lebanon. Do you miss it there? Aw. Okay. I bet you do, Rita. I can only imagine. Okay. So we did our 3 rounds of single crochet. And now we're going to do 3 and 2. So we're going to do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 2 together, only working in the front loops. So again, 3, 1, 2, and 3, the next 3, and then 2 together. And you're going to do that all the way around. So 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 together. So 1, 2, and 3, and 2 together. 17 inches of snow, Rita said. Oh my goodness. Okay. And now we're going to, you should have a stitch count of 16. And now we're going to do 3 rows of single crochet again. Okay. So there's 1 round. Okay. So now we just have 1 more round of single crochets. I think I was off camera. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that was sad in Alabama. They really had some pretty bad tornadoes. I'm glad it missed you, Sammy. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is 2 and 2. So we're going to do 2 single crochets and then 2 together all the way around. So 1 and 2 and then 2 together. Working in the front loops only. Okay, and now we're on our last 2. I missed the question. I think someone's asking about can you wash amigurumi? You can. However, you can wash any crochet. I just wash mine on delicate, and that's pretty much it. I put anything I want in it. Laundry soap, anything, fabric softener. You can really do anything, especially if it's acrylic. Now, if you're working with wool or you're working with any other, read the directions. That should give some directions there, but you can wash amigurumi. But think about this, okay? If you've got little stuff on yours, if you've got little appliques, if you've got little buttons, if you've got bows, just realize that it would be easy for these to come undone. However, I have washed, without the appliques, of course, but even with the bows and the face, I have washed them before and I've had no problems. But I can't say that that's definitely going to happen for you. So just keep an eye on those things when you wash anything that's crochet. And so now, of course, we have 3 rounds of single crochet. I am going to do those on camera because the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the wire. So we're working here on our first round of single crochets all the way around. You should have a stitch count of 11 right now. Boy, if you're using black yarn, it can really leave. I may have to get that off with a pair of scissors later. Okay, so my hands are hurting really bad and I'm so sorry. But we're going to stop here for right now, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you. So Sammy, don't worry, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to do the bow and the wire around here. Okay, so I will be back. Just give me a little bit. I'm going to let my hands rest, and then I will see you in just a little bit.